Welcome to a video from thislifestyle.com. This is a new collection for the Korg Modwave. This is my Soundscape collection, and these are 23 performances, and there's some additional programs as well for the Modwave, Modwave Native, Modwave Mark II, Modwave Module, all the Modwaves, and these are loosely based on a sort of the idea of the sort of soundscapey soundtrack type sounds. Some probably don't quite fit into that, but I've got to put them all together, so that's what I've got. So what I'm going to do in this video is demonstrate some of the sounds. Most of them support poly aftertouch. I'm using this on a Modwave. I've controlled it from a Modwave here and the Modwave Native up on the screen there. I've also got a key stage plugged in there so I can do some of the poly aftertouch as well. Quite a lot of them have got Kaoss in them. I'll show you as we go through. So here are the selection of sounds. So we start off with a couple of bells. And this is bells and fifths. So you can hear those, the fifths coming in. There's poly aftertouch for filters, mod 1 for the bells, and we can use some Kaoss pad as well. So if I go onto the Kaoss pad, you can bring that brass sound in, so if you play with the brass, so you can hear there the bells are being triggered, and you can hear the brass kicking in as well. That's the Kaoss that's introducing that bad brass as well, and you've also got a bit of resonance. So we've got a DW8000 waveform and a DWGS, which is a sampled bell wave from the DWGS, which is the DW range and the MS2000 range. And then, like I said, we've got that layered with some nice deep strings there. So that's bells and fifths. Call fifths because it brings fifths in. And we can use a Kaoss on this as well. And this is using soft bell and a JX bell on there. Incidentally, I'm recording on some Modwave Native. I've got a new music PC that I'm recording on, so just tried a different way of recording. So let me know in the comments if you like this way, or if you don't like, or any changes you'd like to see. But anyway, so that's the nice bells. Brass and pipes. And this side's got some poly aftertouch on the filter. This one is called Cave Exploring. We've got some modulation and poly aftertouch for the resonance on this one as well. We've got noise there and those different layers, and that ticking that comes in. This one is called Downslide. So I use a pitch envelope to slide that down like that, and you can see we're messing with the pulse width as well to create an effect. And that's just a single layer on that one, so nothing too complicated actually. Theremin. So we've got like a soft string that's polyphonic and a mono lead sound. Modulation wheel for some pitch modulation. Or poly aftertouch. So I've got that nice sort of following sound on the and that's polyphonic aftertouch on that. This is a nice digital sound using the Env Vox, the Chorus Dreamz, that's where the name comes from. Single layer this one as well, so you could layer this with something else. Nice early 90s, I guess late 80s sort of digital synth sound. Envelope sweep. And you can hear I'm using the wavetable to get some modulation. I've got a guitar power chord in there, just a bit of depth, and then the other layer is using a vector synthesis wave and some bells. And this one is called Green Space, and this is a dual layer one, and we've got some Kaoss on this one as well. So this is green space. We can use the x-axis, the X plus, to increase the filter cutoff. And then in the right hand, we've got a pad sound. Which is very slow to come in. Using a tape quiet for that right hand to bring it in like that. Very slow envelope on that. So this one's called High Beat Drive. Sounds quite complicated, this one, but there's no mod sequence in this one. I'm using a combination of envelopes and LFOs to trigger this, and you can see you've got a couple of options on the mods. You can do a detune, do the LFO speed, and a digital control. So that gives you just the one layer, the analog layer, and the digital there. This one's called JX Comms, and this one is using two layers based off, one layer is based off the JX string, and then we've got that what I call comms channel, which is the not a bell waveform. You can hear that. Incidentally, I've got a set of JX sounds as well, so check out those. Just go to digitallifestyle.com, search for those. You'll see there's a rolling collection, and you'll find all those in there. So that pad sound is from that. Another JX type 1. This one is a signal soundtrack. Nice, slow. It brings in those that pad on the JX soundtrack side, and then we're using the JX bells to get that sequence. You can have a look at the sequence. There you can see how I'm controlling that pitch. So this next one is called Last Spot Standing. We've got some poly aftertouch, so I'll play it without the aftertouch first. Then you can have the aftertouch, you can add some open sleeve cut off. Gives you a nice pad sound, but with some ambience in. So this one's called M1+JX Soundtrack. The JX range had a soundtrack patch. I think D50 had one. The M1 certainly had one. So I've combined the sort of the basics of the M1 and the JX together. So you can hear that sort of brass sound from the JX and the lighter sound for the from the M1. And this one they got some Kaoss for panning as well. Move the sound around with it. It's something like gravity pulls it back to the centre. Nightmare pad. It's a pad. It sounds like a nightmare. all using samples, that one, and some wave sequencing, some mod sequencing to get those effects. There you can see that. A bit like we did with the up and down, one of the earlier patches. This is called Piano Across the Ice. There you can hear we've got an acoustic piano sound, and with when you hit the piano key, you get the extra layer of the sawtooth coming at a very high rate. It adds that sort of glass effect to it. And then we've got the flutes and the pad in the background. This one is called Sadmess on Tape, and this is a single layer with just a couple of the tape libraries from the Mellotron built into the Modwave. Now quite an interesting and complex one. Two elements to this. We've got the Celeste side. And the way I get that effect is using the step motion sequencer. And the way I got that effect was using the motion sequencer and then altering the timing lane. So you can hear, and every now and again it goes an octave higher. So that's how you get that sort of effect on there. And then the other layer is quite an interesting one because you can't really do a drum kit sequence like you can on the wave state. You can't re-trigger samples from the motion sequences. So once a sample, so if you get a kick drum, once it's played that initial kick, you can't re-trigger it from the motion sequencer. But what you can do is you can use the arpeggiator, which it does re-trigger. And then what I've done then is you can then start to do some things like use the motion sequence with note advance, so that the arpeggiator is then moving on to the next step. So here you can see we've got no advance on this sequencer lane, so it's effectively doing every other beat. So you can see how I'm controlling the snare on layer 1, and the kick is on 2, and we've got a bit of noise as well. And I think what we can do if we combine this together, control that snare as well, take it out. So that's how I've got the sort of the drum kit sound, and I'm going to do a separate selection about sequences, or a separate pack for sequences. That I've got a bit more work on that, and I think I'm going to do one of the next live streams we'll have a look a bit how we can do that. This is called Snowdrifts. we've got some nice sawtooth waveforms going on there, and a pulse width as well. Using envelopes, this one. We can bring the strings in out with Modwave. Next one is called Step Outside. So on the left hand side, the left lower side of the keyboard with the left hand, we've got that bass. And we combine it with the pad. We can bring that vocal in, and we can have the spectrum up on that side. It's called Walk by the Sea. Because you can hear the C in it. And for the C sound, I've only got a single layer on this one. I'm using a bandpass filter to give us the sound of that C. If I was to change to a low pass filter, it would sound like wind. This is one of my favourite ones. This is called Warm Hybrid. So we've got a JX type soundtrack sound and a digital soundtrack using samples from the Wavestation. Slow envelopes on these. We've got some Kaoss for the panning. So if you flick it going, you can get some interesting panning. Subtle but interesting. So you just hear that analog brass comes in slowly. And a Wavestation arpeggiator. Similar idea that I mentioned earlier on, the drum section is using the arpeggiator. Similar idea to earlier on, the drum section uses the arpeggiator. And then the other layer is producing the pad. So that's the performances. There's also some individual layer programs as well, which you can pick out those. There's a couple of interesting ones to pick out there. So you can download these, just download the zip file, open the zip file, import them into the Modwave Native or the Modwave Librarian. All versions of Modwave work on it. Hope you like this collection. Plenty more I'm still working on. I've got some for the Wavestate now as well, so check out those on our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get the subscriber numbers up, so I would appreciate if you do that. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.